Welcome to episode 9 of Seasonal Anime Survivor. We've got 4 shows left. The lauded Fumetsu no Anate. We've got, or To the Eternity, To Your Eternity. I don't even remember what it's called.
Yep.
Shadow's House, Vivy, and,
Hige will saw you.
oh yeah, Hirou. So we're going to start discussing episodes 9 of the episodes, and we'll get right into this week of Fumetsu no Anate. How'd you feel about this episode?
Mm, I feel pretty positive about the episode. I like seeing the development of the chemistry between Gugu and Wing. I think we discussed in the last couple of weeks of the possibility that Gugu could die at the end of this arc and Fushi could absorb him because we've seen I think in the first half of the episode, Gugu and Fushi had a conversation like, "Oh, if I die and you absorb my body, then I'll be happy that you remember me," right?
Right.
Yeah. But now I'm really gonna be sad that happens because it seems like Gugu and Rina have been growing closer because they can somewhat bond together by them having find themselves in unfortunate situations with
I don't know.
Gugu
I
being
liked her like rich girl problems, and he was just like, "Shut up."
yeah, well,
She's like, "Oh
there's
man,
their
my family
problems.
loves me so much. They just follow me around." And he's just like, "Yeah, I don't have parents. I have to. I would starve if I didn't work all day." And she's
Well,
like,
Rin
"Oh no,
still
my
has a
parents."
problem. Yeah, she wants to be independent, but she keeps getting cushioned.
Yeah, but
And that's
it's funny though hearing his perspective, where he's basically just like, "Get out of here. I don't want to hear it."
yeah.
No,
The
I like.
grass is always green on the other side.
Hmm.
No matter if you're rich or poor, you're still gonna have issues with people around you.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I liked that
So
she was like embarrassed of her like tiny little cut on her arm.
yeah, it's definitely more the emotional angle rather than, oh, because it looks so disfiguring to me that other people look at me weird, like I'm a monster.
Yeah.
So I like those two different perspectives. It shows good chemistry, and I believe, well, I think Goo could actually have a shot if he were to survive beyond this arc, and
I don't
him
know.
and Wayne could go.
What's his
Uh,
face look like? That's the.
yeah, that's the big issue we've been thinking about. It's so grotesque that even Ring would have to reconsider what she's just said this episode.
Yeah.
That no matter what you look like, I will still always look at you as a friend.
Yeah, but only as a friend because of how he looks. Uh,
Hmm.
but I also like the was this the first episode where he's making fruit? Like he could generate
Yeah,
fruit?
like
Yeah.
we want the episode that he's able to generate anything that he's been greatly stimulated by. And
Yes.
even the one who released him upon the world said that even things that he gets slightly stimulated by, that's in the future, anything like slightly, that's the word in the subs, slightly stimulated by, he could just replicate on command. So he doesn't have to worry about starvation. And I I
And
wonder
anyone
what else
around him doesn't
he
either. Like, I mean, and what's the limit to how much he can produce? Just like, could he just like create the Earth by just infinite production?
I think it I have to be directly impacted on him, so I don't think he can stimulate the Earth exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, we
Mm,
haven't seen any noticeable. It's like he maybe takes
yeah,
a second, but I wonder if there is a limit and if there's something there.
I think there definitely has to be a limit in terms of like size. I definitely think there must be a size limit.
I mean, we already saw the bear. Like that was pretty big.
Well, yeah, that's more of a transformation. I'm just saying, like, generate object generation. There has to be a limit.
I mean, is there? I don't know. I mean, what?
I
What?
mean, that's just me speculating because I'm sure that he
Yeah,
could
yeah.
generate an infinite amount. It's
Whether
just
there
like the
is or isn't,
size of
they I
it.
don't think it's likely they will do that because it's just
Yeah,
silly.
that's
It'd
what
be
I'm
silly,
thinking.
but it just begs the question. I wonder.
Yeah,
Um,
he's like so overpowered that the only way that is at a disadvantage is that he gets caught off guard
well, I
so
mean, it's not
easily
about whether
by
he wins or loses. I think it's
yeah.
just more about like who he encounters along the way. So I don't think even if he is capable of stuff like that, I don't think that will ever be the point, or I hope it doesn't become the point, because it seems like more just it's more about him encountering people that are interesting and then you like learning their stories.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the show is to have experiences and learn from them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
which is definitely like the biggest advantage of traveling because you get to meet more interesting people than where you are locally.
I have not experienced that. I mean, I don't know. I think you travel and it's just like another place. I don't think it's.
Yeah, but you're more likely to meet interesting people along the way.
I don't. I don't find I meet more people when traveling than when not.
Hmm,
Okay, that's
interesting.
that's a tangent, but I guess we can go on to. Well, I guess there's another plant thing at the end, so I guess that's
Yeah, it's
just the
probably
main.
like the same antagonist.
Is
And
it the
what's
same
that
thing
like
or
the
just
end like
another
the
one of like a species where there's lots of them? I wonder.
I bet it's the same antagonist. And I'm wondering, like, because we saw March was like the last form Fushi took in the last fight. So I wonder if, like, the little particles that were rising up out of Fushi's representation of March at the end of the episode, meaning that that plant thing got March, is whatever it is,
Yeah, it got
and that the
something probably.
antagonist has a, like, full database
I wonder if it was
of
March or
Fushi's
if it was something
capabilities.
else.
Yeah, yeah, that plant thing actually did look like March.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
I remember that it was like, was it the woman running away with March in her hands, or was it the plant thing that had taken over March? Uh,
yeah, that has to be the case.
yeah, and Fushi's somewhere else at this point. We don't know where he is, or yeah.
Hmm. I guess we'll have to find our next episode then.
Yep. Okay, we can move on to Hige Hero. We got like the knowledge bomb in this episode. It was about what I expected. Not terrible, but not
Yeah,
not amazing, but
it.
not terrible. It was like about sort of what I expected was the type of thing that would have happened to her. Uh,
Yeah, this is definitely what I imagined the author would came up with the start, and then just figure out, okay, I want to push that far at the end, and we just get to see. Well, I forgot what her name was again. Oh,
yeah, I
what
don't
was her
remember her
name?
name either. You mean the
Oh
main
no, no,
character or the
just
girl who died?
not the girl who died. I'm talking about the
Oh,
main
Sayu,
character.
Sayu.
That's not
Okay,
the
I was,
guy.
I was saying I don't remember the girl
Sayu.
who died's name. Yeah, Sayu.
Yeah. No, it's not a point. Yeah. So Sayu's past. It's okay, yeah. Like you said, it's definitely what I expected this show. Nothing amazing, non subversive, just what I expected.
It's like
I
a
mean, I
very
certainly,
reasonable reason to run away. It all makes sense. It's a believable
yeah,
story. It's just like it's not
I
something. It's
definitely
like
did
it's not
not.
mind blowing or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't match up to the previous episode or characterization.
Did it not?
It's Well, I mean, the backstory seems like something I would see in another anime, but the way that characters talk to each other in this anime seems like really different than what I'm seeing in this episode.
Well, I
So
think
it's
it
just like
was
it's just a minor
her
dip.
issues with her the way her mom
Yeah.
reacted to it, which is super. I mean, both having a mom like that react that way and her reaction to it is all very believable, realistic, the type of thing that happens in real life.
Mm.
That's it's just not like incredibly interesting, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't have that flair. I just imagine seeing at the back of my head for other episodes. But that's fine. It's not like it's a bad episode. I enjoyed it
I
somewhat.
liked how nice the brother was. It was like unexpected. He was
Yeah,
actually on
he
her side the
definitely
whole
was
way.
nicer.
And
He was
it
definitely
was her
supportive.
at the end who kind of like pushed everyone away, and
Yeah, that is
she did
definitely one of the
kind.
worst case scenarios.
I mean, I don't want to like she did do it to herself, but it's like you can't blame her. But it's like the she's like the first guy, like for the first couple of nights didn't do anything, and then she was like, oh no, now what do I do? And I mean, it's like very, very believable and real,
Yeah,
which I think
like
that's
you
what this show
definitely
does
could
as well.
imagine.
Is it like you start with like a dumb premise, like a dumb, oh, this is a spicy premise, and then it just does that, and it makes it incredibly realistic and believable in every possible way you could. But I
Mm,
guess it's lacking in being super interesting. It's just fine. It's solid. I still like this show, and I
yeah,
still want to see how this turns out. But it's just, I guess I would have
yeah,
liked more from the story, but there's also still
yeah.
more to see, like how things turn out now.
Yeah, if I could say like a food analogy, it's like the outside it looks simple and plain, but the inside is surprisingly has a smooth texture, but the it could have been more complemented by more exciting texture on the outside.
I think
So
it could have. I think the inner is good, but then like the aftertaste. Well, they're not bad. That's a bad. Maybe it could also use like a good side to make it even better. So it's like
yeah, what was side?
outside is like fine. I would say the outside is like intriguing, but you don't expect it to be good. You eat it, it's actually pretty
Mm,
good. But then like maybe it's like dry, so you're thirsty and you'd like a drink, and it's missing that drink to make it like to make it that really really good show. It's just like
I see. Yeah, I definitely think
and
other
that's like
shows
my
definitely.
and up to this point you're waiting on the like the backstory to be really to be solid, and it wasn't bad. It's just like I guess I wanted more, and I don't know even what you could do that
Yeah,
would be better, that would be more interesting. I mean, maybe
yeah,
something like more long-term issues with the mother or something. Um, Instead, this
yeah.
really just seems like, oh, the teenager got upset for good reason and ran away, which is probably the most likely reason something like this could happen. So I don't know. It's just, man, I wanted it to be more spicy. Instead, we just got a boring suit. Like, I love how bad that is in media, where you're disappointed with like a high school suicide because it wasn't interesting enough.
Yeah, because this is exactly I've seen like probably like 3 to 5 times the clean other media.
Yeah,
Not
it's not.
like the direct suicide, but more like a talk about suicidal themes when
I
it
mean,
comes
it's
to
not like
teenage issues.
super. It's not like the most overdone thing, but it's also been done plenty of times before. That's like it's in that note to where it's not unfamiliar, but it's also not. It's not cliche. It's just like I don't know. Is
You
I find
want
it
something
crazy
more
like the
surprising?
girls wouldn't bully her like because she was attractive, which I guess that I don't know, maybe
Ah, yeah.
that is that a thing? Like I guess it is a thing where like they bully the other girl because she's the easier to pick
Plainer
on.
one?
Yeah, I don't know, just
Yeah.
easy.
Oh, yeah, because boys will feel more motivated to stand up
Defend
for
the
the
other
side
girl.
of you
Yeah,
because,
that actually you're
yeah,
actually
because she's
right.
more prettier.
That is part of it. I didn't think about that, but that's totally would happen, and I've never even thought of that before. But that's messed up.
Yeah, high school is a messed up place.
I mean, as a girl, I mean, as a guy, you can kind of just like bulk up or like get stronger or be more intimidating, and people will not mess with you. But as a girl, I guess you could do. I don't know. I don't know what the solution. As a girl, like, is the what how people how do girls
They
avoid
get.
bully?
I guess they would just find a bigger friend group to hang out in,
Yeah,
like strength in
and if
numbers
they're
and stuff.
already like isolated, and there's nothing to be done there with this girl.
Mm.
Yeah, but they bullied her because the Sayu turned down the basketball player, so they bully the other girl. I just lost. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's a little silly.
It's like a wait. This girl turned down the guy I like, so let's bully her best friend. It's like what?
But
The
isn't that what you wanted?
what?
Like, the I'm talking about the girl who tried to like who's bullying the Xayah's friend, saying, "Well, obviously the guy you have a crush on, you definitely wouldn't want the girl he's crushing on to go out with him." So that I see what you mean. It definitely doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it was just
What do you,
I mean maybe that's yeah, bullying's weird. I don't know, but there's a lot of coverage of bullying in like anime, and I guess it must be relatively common. It's likely common in Japan for it to be covered so frequently. Um, and I've heard of it indirectly, so maybe it's just a common issue.
yeah, we Japan definitely needs more men like Yoshida.
Yeah, I don't know if he's stopping any bullies.
Well, it's more like he's there for those girls who are traumatized and ran away.
I mean, realistically, I don't think that's like like having people not
Well,
be. I don't know if
it's
people are
just
actually.
in case.
I mean, maybe it is. I don't know if running away is like a widespread issue. I mean, I feel like bullying might be. That seems like I've seen that enough, but I don't know if runaways is or isn't, or if that's an issue in Japan or not. Who knows?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know either, but it's just like from personal experience, like some people apparently do run away from home when something's upsetting.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely. But to this extent, it's kind of crazy. I don't know. It's a decent episode. We're tangenting pretty far here. Can move
Okay,
on
let's
to
move
the
on.
Shadows House episode. We had Kate finally get rescued.
Mm,
They went through all
yep.
that work of like trying to like not make the cage fall, and then they just get into the cage and they fall, and it was okay. It was so silly.
Yeah, but Amilica was able to help Kate just in time.
But she could like, but it's like she could have just like stayed there with the bucket and let it fall.
Mm, I think it's just such serves some tension.
I know. I just hate when you have a big build up tension and then the resolution is some dumb thing where they could have done nothing. If you
But the
get what
story wouldn't be exciting at that point.
it's just really it's not good resolution. I hate when stories do that kind of thing. I've seen like just resolve it in a way where like the resolution like mattered, not in a way where it's like oh well they could have just done nothing the whole time. I hate it. It's so frustrating to me.
Mm,
But I liked the Ricky being all angry and arguing with Sean and John and like the two-way gate thing that was cool.
yeah, definitely reminds me of some classic old Gmod RP back in the day. Especially like on the more dark servers, the more oriented ones.
The what?
The Gmod RP, Gmod from Valve.
Nope.
No, it's just basically some RP stuff, and it's
What's RP?
roleplay.
Oh,
Yeah, roleplaying is like different personalities online.
yep. Totally unaware. I've only seen role playing as like a meme on Twitch where people make fun of role playing, but I've never actually experienced it as the actual thing. I've only secondhand heard of it because people make fun of it. That's
Yeah,
my
it used to be taken seriously one time.
that's like my experience with it. It's just role player forehead on Twitch, but even that was a long time ago when I watched a lot of Twitch. So it's weird that I have a second. Anyway, we're way off on a tangent. So we had Ricky and Sean, and Ricky was just really almost like a tsundere with like the way he's.
Yeah, just more insecure than being a jerk recently.
Mm-hmm. So now he's like feeling bad about it, but Lou gave him his
Yeah.
clippers, and she like did the sweet smile, and that was super cute. That was like,
Yeah, like showing some initiative outside of acting as the face for the what was it? Yeah, for the Shadow Masters.
yeah, for Louise.
Yeah, real French.
Yeah, and she's like the she seems to be like the meanest of the Shadow Masters in this five.
Yeah, I can definitely see her being on the third floor like 10 or 20 years later.
Yeah,
She would fit in
what's
right in.
Rum's master's name?
Shirley, I believe.
Shirley, and she doesn't say anything. I wonder what is
No,
going up with her.
apparently, like from what I remember Milika saying last week, that Shirley could possibly be satisfied and not having any deep emotions. But like freaking said last week, that even brings up more questions about how is she not really any suit from her head.
Yeah, didn't and like we also heard like the shadow older people. They said they like did Edward combine with his shadow? So they're like once they eventually become completely taken over by their shadow. Is that how that works? I don't.
Yeah, I believe that's in case because remember when John was like, I mean, some suit power, and one of the women out there was getting excited about it, and some of the shadow was leaving from her face, and you could see her tongue.
Oh, so at this so once you're full, you I just get wrapped up. You just wrap up the doll with the shadow. That's how it works.
Yeah, and it says like when, and she even got reprimanded for showing her skin from the shadow leaving the skin. So there
Hmm.
might be some discouragement to not show your face at all, not show the doll face, have the shadow completely cover it.
Hmm.
So I wonder what's going on there, why you can't show your face, because I thought
The
the
whole point
point
was
of
this
the
to show
face
the
was
face
to
for the
show the
emotion. Yeah,
emotions,
exactly. So it,
because you can't see the emotions on the shadow.
yeah, so it's something else. Yeah, like this show is at this point it's almost getting frustrating with like the mystery because we've been like a bunch of episodes in the same place and then there's like still just a billion more questions and I don't know why in this case you I mean for some reason in this case I'm a little impatient with at least that element, but I like what's going on in the moment. But
I like in the moment too. I just think it's frustrating that we only got a couple of episodes
yeah,
left.
given the
Yeah,
length of the series, like it's not going to unravel like in a way where it will be any sort of satisfying because there's so much left on the table as far as mystery wise. Like what?
I wish there was a rule that if a mystery show was to go for longer than 12 episodes, it should at least have like four more episodes, like 16 to 24. That way we can definitely get more answers.
Yeah, I guess it's just like one of those things where it's getting approved for a season and then it's. I mean, this doesn't
Yeah,
seem like it's doing that well to where it will get another one. I mean, it's on the
that's
borderline.
such a damn shame because it had such a good gothic aesthetic. And
Yeah, I
you
mean,
see like the OP and ED, it definitely has a life of its
it's
own.
definitely good.
Just
It's just not
niche.
popular.
That's just a real
But
freaking shame.
it's in an unfortunate season where there's just a lot of other good shows as well.
Mhm.
I mean, Fumetsu Ananta and Vivy are literally, I think they're both top 100 Mal rating. So it's like, it's a high competition season, and
Mm.
even 86 is like spiked. Like the last
Yeah,
episode,
definitely like the most popular on r/anime from what the ratings I've seen.
it's well,
Like
literally
people
like
really love that
the
show on
last
there.
episode that came up like was it like spiked its popularity in this past week. But I guess we're not talking about Shadow's House anymore. We can move on to the next
Yeah.
show. Yeah, and the last show is Vivy. Today we
Yep.
had Antonio and versus Matsumoto and his billion cubes and Vivy
Yeah.
and
All I typed for this episode is cool action scene Sakuga. Because that's that one scene when Vivy was doing the hand to hand combat.
yeah,
Mwah! That's the one thing I definitely am really happy about this show is
and it
that
was
its
like
action is
long. It
still
wasn't
high
just like a
class.
short one. It was like a good sequence into like a different sequence that was also cool, like the laser beam
Yeah,
that
that
like Matsumoto,
flows seamlessly.
and then it went back into another fight between Vivi and the whatever his name is
Yeah.
that he was a member of the terrorist group. He wasn't a leader. He was just a member of it. That's what I was confused about the last episode. He was around before. He just wasn't the main guy. That's why.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it was basically a pretty silly. Like I mean, you got Antonio's like I don't know. He just wanted to take over because of he's an AI and he has this mission and he wanted to take over Ophelia's mission because like he thought the best way to do it was to take over himself, and then at the end he was like, "Oh no, it was actually because I only wanted her to sing for me." It's kind of cliche there. But as far as like skyscraper scene, like she jumps out of the skyscraper, just amazing action episode. Like, so I don't know. There's show's
Yeah.
really good, but it's in this case it wasn't so much for the atmosphere as it was just really cool action. Like in the whole I like in the space the revolving space station arc, it had a mix of like cool action and just really cool atmosphere, and the plot was I liked the plot in that one better than this sort of sub arc we have. This arc was less interesting. Like just Antonio was just like a big dumb robot that took over his Ophelia's career kind of, and it wasn't particularly interesting. Although what was interesting about this arc was just Diva's personality was cool. I think that was the good part about this arc was Diva's personality. But
Yeah, and the significance that Diva is passing the reins to Vivy.
yeah,
Yeah, so I'm gonna be really interested to see how Vivy's gonna pick up after Diva, because Diva's leaving her some pretty big heels to fill.
oh yeah, to maintain the same singing. I wonder
Yeah.
if there'll be conflict with her. You know, will the fans notice the difference or something?
Yeah, definitely her management team as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the people around her. But I'm more concerned about like will because for her own psyche, if you can call it, I guess they have psyche. I mean, they basically
Yeah.
people. These AIs are like not.
Yeah, her mission is to like make everyone happy through her singing.
Yeah, and if she isn't able to do that or feels like she's not doing it well enough because she had a like maybe the fans notice a difference, a drop off in quality because Diva was really good, that would be a cool thing.
Yeah.
Or if they just keep doing cool action, like that's also fine because they clearly have the ability to do it. They've done it many episodes, like
Yeah.
episode
Action's
two,
the only
episode
thing I
four,
yeah.
this
Action's
episode.
the only yeah, action is the only thing that I can comprehend in the show, so more action is better for me in this show.
I mean, I really like the atmosphere too. I think
Yeah.
the setting, the visuals. Um,
Mm.
I mean, honestly, story wise, the weakest part was the last section. I liked the little sub stories more of all the other ones. Just because I thought Antonio was kind of corny. Like I don't know, but like Ophelia was cool. But having I don't know having the big light bulb manager, I didn't like that part.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
there's
see
not much
what you mean
else.
by that.
We can go ahead and do our vote. Okay, so we did our vote, and we had a four-way tie, which was unexpected. So we did an RNG and randomly offed one of the shows, and unfortunately, that was Shadow's House. It lost the RNG battle.
Now I
So,
know how friggin' felt when Tokyo Revengers got RNG'd off. Like the
so,
worst possible thing can just happen.
yep. I mean, it was kind of a
It's
tough
really
race.
big.
But yep, that's it. There's only three shows left. We got Vivy, Fumetsu no Nate, and Hige Hero. So we basically have
Yep.
the top Mal shows minus Hige Hero. So it's a that
Yeah.
that's that'll be a tight race at the end. So
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna see some tight arguing coming forward.
yep. So that's it
It's gonna
for
be a fun
week
show.
9 of seasonal anime Survivor.
Yep. Stay tuned, everybody.